Hi boys and girls, Miss Gaudy here. Today we are going to learn about a real man. His name is Snowflake Bentley. And the name of this biography about Snowflake Bentley is called Snowflake Bentley, and it's written by Jacqueline Briggs Martin. And the illustrations are by Mary Azarian. And this book, if you see the gold seal on it, this is a Caldecott winner. So that means it won an illustration for its beautiful photographs. So I think you'll really enjoy this book. In the days when farmers worked with ox and sled and cut the dark with lantern light, there lived a boy who loved snow more than anything else in the world. Willie Bentley's happiest days were snowstorm days. He watched snowflakes fall on his mitten, on the dried grass of the Vermont farm fields, on the dark metal handle of the barn door. He said that snow was as beautiful as butterflies or apple blossoms. He could net butterflies and show them to his brother Charlie. And he could pick out apple blossoms and take them to his mother. But he could not share a snowflake with others because he could not save them. When his mother gave him an old microscope, he used it to look at flowers and raindrops and blades of grass. But best of all, he used it to look at snow. While other children built forts and pelted snowballs at roosting crows, Willie was catching single snowflakes. Day after stormy day, he studied the icy crystals. Their intricate patterns were even more beautiful than he ever imagined. He expected to find whole snowflakes that were the same, that were copies of each other. But he never did. Willie decided that he must find a way to save snowflakes so others could see their wonderful design. For 3 winters, he tried drawing snowflake crystals, but they always melted before he could finish. When he was 16, Willie read of a camera with a microscope, with its own microscope. If I had that camera, I could photograph snowflakes, Willie told his mother. Willie's mother knew that he would not be happy until he had that camera. Fussing with snow, it's just foolishness, his father said. Still, he loved his son. His parents spent their savings and bought the camera. It was taller than a newborn calf and cost as much as his father's herd of 10 cows. That was very expensive. But Willie was sure that it was the best camera of all the cameras. His first pictures were failures. They were shadowy. But he would not quit. Mistake by mistake and snowflake by snowflake, Willie worked through every storm. Winter ended, the snow melted, but he had no good pictures. He waited for another season of snow. One day, in the second winter, he tried a new experiment. And it worked. Willie had figured out how to photograph snowflakes. He figured out how to photograph snowflakes. Now everyone can see the great beauty in a tiny, tiny crystal. But in those days, no one cared. Neighbors laughed at the idea of photographing snow. Snow? In Vermont? That's as common as dirt, they said. We don't need any pictures. Willie said the photographs would be his gift to the world. While other farmers sat by the fire or rode to town with horse and sleigh, Willie studied snowstorms. He stood at the shed door. He held out a black tray to catch snowflakes. Willie so loved the beauty of nature, he took pictures in all seasons. But his snow crystal pictures were his favorite. He gave copies away or he sold them for a few cents. He made special pictures as gifts for birthdays. He held evening slideshows on the lawns of his friends. Children and adults sat in the grass and watched while Willie projected his slides onto a sheet hung over a clothesline. He wrote about snow. He published his pictures in magazines. He gave speeches to faraway scholars and neighborhood sky watchers. "You are doing a great work," said a professor from Wisconsin. And the little farmer came to be known as the world's expert on snow. He became known as the Snowflake Man. But he never grew rich. He spent every penny on his pictures. Willie said that they were his treasures in snow. "I cannot afford to miss a single snowstorm," he told a friend. "I never know when I will find a wonderful prize." Other scientists raised money for Willie, so Willie could gather his best photographs in a book. And when he was 66 years old, Willie's book, His Gift to the World, was published. Still, he was not ready to quit. And here's a picture of Willie with his camera. And here right below are 3 photographs that he took of snowflakes. So boys and girls, we are going to create our own snowflake today. Not with ice or snow or water. We're going to use paper and create a 3D snowflake. Okay, boys and girls, this is our 3D snowflake that I created. It's our little tribute to Snowflake Bentley. And I'm going to show you exactly how to make it, this beautiful snowflake. Okay, we are going to start with 6 pieces of square paper. We're going to start with 1 at a time. We're going to start by folding your paper in half, corner to corner. Your paper should now look like a triangle. Fold it again. Now your paper is in quarters, but it's still shaped like a triangle. Continue with all 6 pieces of paper. Corner to corner. So it looks like a triangle. And corner to corner again, so it looks like a triangle. Okay, boys and girls, now you have 6 identical triangles. We're going to take our scissor. We're going to cut 3 slits, stopping before you get to the edge. Okay. Once you have the 3 slits cut, you can open up your paper. Let's move this paper to the side. And we are going to tape. Do you see these 2 inner corners? Pull them forward, and you're going to tape right where those 2 corners meet. Flip over your paper, and we're going to do the same thing, but in reverse. So now we're going to tape on this side. Flip it over again. Bring the 2 corners together. Tape. And one last time, flip it over. And tape. So your piece should look something like that. Now we're going to continue with all of the rest of our pieces. So remember, it's very important when you're cutting, you cannot cut all the way through to the edge because then your snowflake will fall apart. So it's 3 cuts. 1, 2, 3. Open your paper. Unfold and start with the innermost corners and start taping. When you have all 6 pieces formed like this, bring them all together. Right now I only have 4, but you're going to take them all and gather them by the bottom corner. So if you have 2 different patterns, you can rotate their patterns, alternate their patterns. Once you have all 6 corners, you're going to have 6 corners, but for the sake of time, I'm abbreviating. Gather all 6 pieces by the corner. Make sure you have them all together and staple them. And then once you have them, you can arrange them into your beautiful 3D snowflake. I hope you had fun. Have a wonderful evening.